What you talking about, Willis? Welcome back, guys. Welcome to What You're Talking About, Willis. I'm your host, Via. You can call me V. And it's Fight for Your Rights Friday. Let's talk about it. So I'm going to play a quick video from, I'll link the handle from Instagram. And I believe it's like the Gossip B or the B Gossip or something like that. So, and we will talk about it. It's about gatekeeping. It's about entrepreneurial secrets, professional secrets, letting people in, giving a person like a leg in the game, metaphorically speaking. Let me play the video and we'll go from there.
It's gatekeeping. Yeah. Don't fuck with everybody. For you be like, no. For niggas who's outside, they be like, nigga, gatekeeping. Nigga, it does not make sense to open up a gate to a nigga who can't come in here and eat.
Can't come in and eat.
Niggas be like, man, these niggas be gatekeeping. When nigga tell a nigga, yo, bro, you gotta drop 5 bands, nigga, we finna go pull this move. Nigga be like, I ain't got 5,000. Bitch, get off my phone.
Gatekeeping, you can't even run the move. You're talking about
you can't pay the fee to get through the gate.
This
is not a gatekeeping thing. You have to go fix yourself. You can't come in here with a motherfucking cup with a hole in the bottom of it and say, give me something to drink. Bitch, I'm pouring into a cup that can't fill.
You got a hole in the bag.
The hole is in your cup. So when I pour into you, you can't even collect it and grasp it. You will not win. And you think that somebody's like, yo, you're not qualified to receive what I have. You know I have what you want to achieve, but you're not qualified to receive it. And people be like, man, just help me. Y'all don't be really helping people.
Okay, welcome back, guys. So off the top, dialect is something that we all have, depending on where you're from, you know, your cultural background, socioeconomic background, etc. And I applaud the culture for essentially taking over, because the culture being, you know, everything that's trending in this moment and now. So to paraphrase and to give a synopsis of what is being said, the essence of what is being said is that oftentimes entrepreneurs and people who want the opportunity to be an entrepreneur do not have the skills or the tools to execute said opportunity effectively. And with this comes the need to understand that we are not keeping you from this opportunity. An entrepreneur, a professional, a corporate exec is not stopping you from entering into this field, into this position, into this sector. We are not the reason that you are not able to execute. It is a skill or a tool that is lacking. As an entrepreneur of 10 plus years, as someone who has managed my own consulting firms, small, medium businesses, large businesses, advising, I understand this very clearly. I'm part owner of a manufacturing company. I understand that when a person is able to execute on an opportunity, they are given more opportunities. And so oftentimes what we're seeing people feel like they are being excluded from a program or a sector, or, you know, a business possibility. But the reality is you just don't have the skills. You don't have the skills, you don't have the resources, something is missing. What is missing? So let's try to explain this in a different way. You know, if you have a business opportunity that you want to execute and you need, his example, $5,000 to get into the door to a program that is going to give you the leads, the resources, the tools you need to execute said business opportunity. But you don't have $5,000. You are not ready to execute on this opportunity at this moment in time. You need the $5,000. And some people's belief is that, well, you already did it. You are successful. Give me the $5,000 and the opportunity. And the reality is, I, as a successful entrepreneur, cannot give you the money and the opportunity. I cannot give you the resources and the opportunity. Why is that? Because you will not know how to execute it when you get it. This is where we oftentimes see people squander really amazing opportunities. You have the opportunity of a lifetime and like that, it's just gone. Why? Because you didn't execute it correctly. You did not have the skills to ensure that you did assess your risk. You did a risk analysis. You really were mitigating issues as they arose and executed a game plan that would in fact create sustainability. And if this sounds like French, then there are bigger issues. So what I'm saying is, unfortunately, you have an opportunity that you want to execute and you need $5,000 to get into this program, which will give you the leads and the resources and the tools to execute this opportunity. The first step is to figure out how you're going to get the money. The next step is going to be figuring out how you are going to manage this program while you continue to work and execute in your day-to-day activities so that you do not lose your income or your sustainability while you are beginning a new opportunity. A lot of people do not understand filling the gap. A lot of people do not understand why you see so many entrepreneurs working a day job, a 9 to 5 for 10, 15 years while they have a business. And this is why, because filling the gap is critical. You cannot rob your business of its earnings to survive and expect your business to grow. You cannot rob your business of its earnings and expect it to survive so that you can survive and expect it not to fail. Most businesses fail in the first 7 years. Part of the reason why is they're not filling the gap. For larger scale businesses, this would be equivalent to not meeting your timelines. This would be equivalent to not having people executing on demand in a timely fashion and losing income because of it, not only on day-to-day production, but on new opportunities. And now this year is in the red. And now we are not meeting our profit goals for this year, and our executive board, our owners, our stakeholders are taking a loss. And it might not look like a loss because there is still profit, but it is nonetheless a loss. So I say this to say, nobody is gatekeeping. If you want the opportunities, they are there. There are people, consultants, advisors, I am one of them. I will drop my link in the description box below, who can help you seize opportunities. There is a reason why people who have made it, who have the success, behave the way they do. The amount of time, the resources, the education, the risk, the sacrifices that were put into attaining that level of resource, that level of success, some people consider priceless. But you can pay for it. You can pay an advisor, you can pay a consultant to help you avoid some of these really expensive mistakes. Because a lot of entrepreneurs make mistakes that are so expensive, they take them out of business. So in conclusion, my advice, this is professional advising, this is what I do. Drop it in the comments. Let me know. What are you trying to do? Do you have a goal, an entrepreneurial goal that you're trying to reach? Let me know if I can assist in any way, and possibly, I do offer consultations. But my advice for those who are feeling like they are not getting a leg in the door, a foot in, that they just need the opportunity and nobody is helping them, is to ensure that you're prepared to execute this opportunity when it arrives. What does that look like? Well, it looks like not only having the resources available, but it also looks like having the background available, having the education, having tools. It looks like being able to make space. I have another video that is entitled Making Space. It looks like you've made space for this opportunity to unravel, to unfold. What does that look like? Planning out ahead, your schedule. Once I do start executing this opportunity, I'm going to do this in the evenings. I'm going to do this on Saturdays. I'm going to do it on Sundays. And understanding what your new schedule is going to be like while you fill the gap with your current responsibilities and your new found responsibilities. I will link Making Space video in the description box below. Next, on self-improvement, via Sherelle advising, self-improvement, picking up where we left off with the previous topic on getting your foot in the door, having the qualifications, making sure you have the resources, the tools. I want to extend one of my tools to my Safe Space family. I am putting up Harvard X. This is an online platform that has a multitude of certification classes. You can actually choose to pay and receive a certificate for the class completion, or you could just take the class, which is what I usually do. You can take a variety of classes on this platform. There's everything from things that have to do with philosophy and to business analytics, AI, programming, You name it, you'll probably find it. I haven't taken all their courses. I haven't delved in deep enough to know everything that they offer, but it is a good place to start to just getting some fundamentals, some basics on different areas of interest for your acceleration and your promotion. Remember, it is critical that when you are advancing to the next step, when you are opening that business, when you are scaling that business, when you are promoting yourself or allowing Source, God, Universe, Elohim, Yahweh, Abba, Allah, enter your higher power here to elevate you, that you manifest. And manifesting includes action. It is not just the belief of this said thing to happen, because we know it will happen. It is making space. Making space for it is action oriented. It is actually making space and ensuring that you have the capacity to bring in what you are manifesting, but also ensuring that you are leveraging tools, resources, mentors, etc. to prepare you for execution. I hope this helps, guys. Till next time, and as always, I love you. Next, we're talking about the consumer report that came out earlier this week on braiding hair, primarily used for Black women, African American descent. They said 10 of the most popular synthetic braiding hairs products on the market from brands including Magic, Finger, Sassy Collection, Sensational, Shake and Go, and others to the lab, and a number of carcinogens were detected. Not only were carcinogens detected, but also lead, which is never good, and a number of other products. I am putting up a list now. It is kind of hard to see the PDF where you can see the brands and you can see the number of items detected in there. We have seen, per the National Institute of Health, by 2028, the global hair, wig, and extension market is expected to surpass $19.12 billion. Black women in the United States, along with women in continental Africa, are the largest consumer group for this industry. In 2022, 34% of adult American Black female internet users stated that they wore braids with synthetic extensions within the last 3 years. Synthetic braids were also the second most popular hairstyle among American Black women aged 18 to 34 amongst the United States. 16.1 million of adult Black women, 5.5 million, which is 34%, are potentially exposed. So another issue being the amount of carcinogens that are released upon heating it. With styling braids, there is typically a boiling water process and or a heat process that is done at the end of the braid once it's done. And these braids are worn for 4 to 6 weeks, creating extended exposure by the woman. So, as you can imagine, lead, toxic chemicals, and other things are found in these different hair products. And the reason this is so concerning is, one, obviously it's discriminatory. It is primarily targeting African American women, but also the FDA should get involved. So I am dropping a link to a petition that you can sign to have some legislation put in around this. This is part of the issue. The issue is that there is no standing legislation. It's not regulated in any way, shape, or form. It does go on your body. It does go on your head. And we are needing some kind of action to be taken by the government so that we can ensure safety of all. These products are brought in with no checks and balances, and they are hurting women, especially within a demographic of women that already suffer, which are at a higher risk of seeing certain types of abnormalities and or immunodeficiencies. So just letting it be known, just be careful. If you are a fan of braids or know someone who is, please sign the petition, and just make sure that we taking this as an opportunity to be more aware, mindful of the things we put in our body, on our body, and I thank you. Next, we're talking about SB 3. This is in the Texas State Legislature, and while I know this is very specific to Texas, what can I say? I'm a Texas girl. I'm a Texas, California girl. So what's happening is that Texas SB 3 has been introduced by the Senate as legislation that is going to modify the introduction of hemp. And so what we're seeing is that it's essentially going to take Delta 8 and Delta 9 off the market. And for those who don't know, let me put up some graphics. The key differences between Delta 8 and Delta 9. Delta 9 is more traditionally, it's naturally occurring in cannabis. So you do see Delta-9 naturally, whereas Delta-8 is a synthesized version of CBD that gives you the THC high, the psychoactive component, which is the high. We are seeing higher potency, which leads to a stronger high, which can make it, in fact, a little dangerous. Delta-8, given the CBD origin, has milder effects. We are seeing that Delta-9 is regulated and controlled, whereas Delta-8 is often regulated differently and sometimes more relaxed than Delta-9. Why? Because Delta-8 is technically CBD, and CBD is federally legal. So what we're seeing is just in some areas, in some cases, regulation with respect to the synthesized versions. We are also seeing that because it is synthesized, it's so heavily processed, there are introduction to chemicals and other compounds that are not naturally occurring. So this bill will introduce the streamlining of CBD and hemp products and remove Delta-9, Delta-8. The FDA has additional considerations that we're looking at. They have issued a warning regarding the safety of Delta-8 THC products and recommends against consumption due to potential risks and lack of regulation. Some Delta-8 products may contain harmful impurities or additives due to unregulated synthesis methods. Again, the manufacturing of Delta-8 is like the Wild Wild West. It is very unregulated, and so this is part of the issue. Delta-8 and Delta-9 both bind to the CB1 receptor in our brain, that's the cannabinoid receptors, but the difference in their chemical structure means that Delta-8 may have slightly different effects on the brain. Again, Delta-9 is a potent, very potent psychoactive version of the naturally occurring THC. It is the high. Hemp, all who know hemp, is not traditionally the psychoactive version of anything, honestly. The legality of both Delta-8 and Delta-9 vary by state and jurisdiction, with some areas having legalized forms of cannabis. So, and the issue we're seeing with our constituents, with Texas residents, is that, it does feel like we're taking a step back for a lot of people. A lot of people are really accustomed to having these options available to them and having what feels like, an open THC cannabis market. When the reality is we have federally legal CBD, and Texas legislators do not want recreational marijuana in Texas. I'm gonna play a quick clip. Let's play it for the Texas legislators.
Is kill an industry that is thriving and take away jobs.
I believe if it becomes law, it's really going to close the door on any type of discussion about recreational marijuana in Texas. Is that your hope as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're exactly right. Legislature never intended, to have recreational marijuana. So they're just kind of reeling it back in, putting it back to status quo. I just hope they don't cross over and go too far and limit the real medical marijuana that's helping a lot of people. Matter of fact, they could loosen the strings on that one a little bit, and I'd be much happier. I'd rather get bureaucrats and politicians out of people's medication and let the doctors and patients prescribe that to the patients as they see fit.
Delta-8 THC products often involve use of potentially harmful chemicals to create the concentration of Delta-8 THC claimed in the marketplace. The natural amount of Delta-8 THC in hemp is very low. It's minuscule. And additional chemicals are needed to convert other cannabinoids in hemp, like CBD, into Delta-8 THC. Synthetic conversion concerns with this process include manufacturers may use potentially unsafe household chemicals to make Delta-8 THC through this chemical synthesis process, i.e. any variety of products that would be used, Clorox even, Ajax, we don't know, we have no idea. It just depends on what their process includes, and again, this process is not regulated. The last is Delta-8 THC products should be kept out of reach of children and pets, because they do have adverse effect on your babies and your animals as well. I say this as an advocate for CBD, for hemp. Hemp in reality is a super plant. It can be used for a multitude of things, from paper to oils or gas to clothes, cotton, fabrics. Hemp is a super plant, and I am a fan. I love hemp everything, and I particularly love CBD and what it's done for anxiety. I am a natural fan of, I am a fan of CBD. I have been an advocate for CBD for about a decade now. As part of, owner of an edibles company, the CBD is where my heart lies. I believe strongly in the power of CBD for healing in a naturopathic way. For those who have any kind of physical ailments such as pain, nausea, dizziness, anxiety, there are a multitude of things that your CBD could heal, including but not limited to glaucoma and seizures. So why it was federally. I do have concern that this bill, SB3, will in fact take us back. We do not want to go back. Medicinal marijuana is not being impacted. We still will have leverage and use to medicinal marijuana. We will still have CBD, but the reality is Texas legislators are saying no to recreational. So what we do want to do is speak up, talk to your legislators, drop it in the comments, tell me how you really feel, because there is another option. The option is that we legalize recreational, natural occurring THC, and therefore we don't have, synthetic versions flying off the shelf. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. And if you have any questions on the power of CBD, drop it in the comments. I would love to have a conversation about it. I am well versed in this topic, and it's amazing. Bye guys, as always, love you.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.